r/AskReddit, what's some common advice that's actually terrible? There's an old Corsican proverb, a Christian forgives, only a fool forgets. Don't take no for an answer. Especially when it comes from a man/woman you're pursuing. If they said no, leave them alone. I had a seasonal retail job back in the mid-2000s, back in the days where online shopping was starting to overtake brick-and-mortar stores, so companies adapted this customer service the customer to death even if they clearly want to be left alone mentality. My manager insisted that we needed to hear no 3 times before we accepted it. I get twice, but 3 times. That's just harassment at that point and uncomfortable for everybody. Everything happens for a reason. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Both inaccurate and incredibly annoying to hear whilst recovering from leukemia. Some people need to understand that some things are just plain shitty. Acting like it's not is hella annoying. Lawyers will give you a 30-minute session free. Nah. They let you present your case and decide if they want to take it on or not. You're not getting free legal advice, lol. One of the most useful comments here. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. It should be do something that enables you to do what you love. Pay for what you like with what you're good at. Just be yourself. A lot of Reddit advice advocates for zero social effort, or assuming crippling social anxiety is the norm. Which I think is generally a pretty bad thing. A lot of people probably should work to overcome anxiety and work on at least some social competency. Overcoming my own social anxiety massively changed my life for the better. The key to 97% of social interactions is just to ask people questions and be genuinely interested in the answers. A lot of financial advice contains something about avoiding all debt. When better advice should probably be to understand how debt can be used as a tool, and how to evaluate if something is worth taking on. I'm really liking my low interest rate mortgage right now. Just move on or get over it when someone struggles with a traumatic event or events. Trauma can get wired into the nervous system in a way that is extremely difficult and painful to move past. Saying get over it is one of the most insensitive things someone can say. You can't gauge someone else's trauma, and everybody heals at their own pace. And what is really going to be accomplished by saying that? Do they think the person is going to be like, hey, yeah, I should get over it, huh? Thanks. Time heals all wounds. No, it doesn't. Sometimes you need to seek outside help to actually properly heal the wounds. People often wonder why I've not really been able to get started in life because I'm well-spoken, charismatic and come from a wealthy family. Basically, time did not heal all wounds. So I have to spend many years doing lots of trauma-focused therapy, which after many years has started working. Everything happens for a reason. The caveat for this is often the reasons are stupid. Some people are really shitty, and they need to work on improving themselves, not continuing to do the things that make them shitty. Looking for this, and here it was. I guess this one thing happened for some reason. Never go to bed angry with your spouse, and amp, #X200B. Yeah, a good night's sleep along with a fresh perspective and some cool down time sounds like a terrible thing to have. /S to be clear, running away from a problem and hoping it goes away by the morning is a bad thing, but calming down and going after it in the morning with a little distance can be a really good thing. Walking away or going to sleep is a great de-escalation technique. Do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. 1. You'll work too many hours for too little money. 2. If you're really lucky, you don't completely despise the thing you once loved. Don't try to turn your hobby into a job, but do try to find work that is meaningful to you, whether or not you love it. Yeah, I'd rather do something I'm good at and leave office politics away from my passions. Blood is thicker than water. Nope, some family members are a-holes not worthy of loyalty or love. Money won't make you happy. LOL, yes the fuck it will. If I'm going to be miserable, I'd much rather be miserable in comfort and amp, without worrying about paying the bills. Money won't make you happy, but it takes away a lot of sources of unhappiness. There was a piece of advice I heard from someone that went along the lines of be a better version of yourself, which sounds a lot better than just vaguely saying be yourself. Do whatever your heart desires. Well, some people's desires are to break the law, so don't do that. Somewhat unrelated, but similarly stupid emo. My neighbor has a car sticker that reads do what makes you happy with the word happy crossed out in red and replaced with holy. I always found it so ridiculous. That you can be or do whatever you want as if it makes people believe they are so special in the world instead of a limited person with real problems to deal like everyone else. You can do anything you set your mind to. Actually, no you can't. Everyone has some limitations, financial, environmental, physical, medical, mental. It's okay to accept that there will be some things you can and can't do, it's healthy to be realistic about it. I hate that toxic positivity mindset. This is why Monsters University has possibly the best message of any Disney/Pixar film. Definitely one I am going to show my kid and talk about with them. Never go to bed angry. So stupid. There are often times when it's best to just call it a night. That family should be above everything. If your family is terrible, maybe reconsider. Love means never having to say you're sorry. ****TCH, say sorry, get comfortable with it, say it as often as you can, because honestly, if you can't say you're sorry meaningfully to your partner, and mean it, means you don't give a purple fart in space about them. Period. My dad had a big conversation with me about how I should not live with my girlfriend/fiancé before we got married. He had this conversation with me while I was living with her, which he knew. Just did 10 years. Glad I know that we can live well together, and that I knew before getting married. Getting married before living together is an awful idea. Forgive and forget. Forgiving is for yourself, forgetting is foolish. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. No, it doesn't, you get traumatized. In a similar vein, everything happens for a reason, and what is meant to be will happen. That's not how any of that works. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. A big nope to that ridiculous turd of an idea that the universe will decide all your decisions. Violence is never the answer. No, sometimes it is absolutely the answer, but except in very rare circumstances it should be your first answer. Pacifism is a luxury that those whose very existence is threatened cannot always afford. That you can get rich quickly, doing anything. Some people can, but only those who are ahead of the trend. As soon as you hear about something trending as a potential get-rich-quick scheme, you've missed the boat. Tilt your head back for a nosebleed. Follow your heart. Just read this on r/recruiting hell. Don't work in call centers. They suck. We know they suck. We know the pay is absolutely dire and the environment toxic. We know the managers there kiss arse and promote the hot woman or their drinking buddies. We know this. Why is this bad advice? Because the person he said it to was currently homeless and desperate for paid work. Imo, if you can stomach 6 months to a year of being in a depressive environment just so you can have a roof over your head, go do it until you find something better. Sleep when the baby sleeps. JFK once said, forgive your enemies, but never forget their names. My response to this one is always do dishes when the baby does dishes, do laundry when the baby does laundry. And then when they tell me I shouldn't worry about chores, I should just focus on the baby, I say, for how long? Because babies don't learn to function for like, years. I'll run out of coffee mugs in 3 days. Clean underwear in a week. My favorite baby nap right now is the stroller nap. While I get a long walk and a podcast in, it feels almost like self-care. The customer is always right. Anyone who has worked retail knows that's bullshit. Follow your dreams. Unless your dream is to become a professional sleeper. Then you might need a backup plan. When the time is right, it will happen. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Never change. What's the worst that can happen? Especially when said dismissively in a way to end the conversation. A lot of negative things could happen, especially when the seed has been planted. I almost answer that question with a ridiculously bad thing that is very unlikely but could happen. Typically involving aliens and death. I'm not a fan of forgive and forget either. I'm more of a move on for the sake of your own peace and happiness type of gal. Forgiving and forgetting being totally optional in that equation. No one will love you until you love yourself. Oh yes. This one. I know 99% of people will disagree, but I'd go as far as to say you will not learn to love yourself if no one else ever has. We all need affirmation and acceptance and everything to truly thrive. I bury hatchets but I keep maps of where I put them. The stupid neither forgive nor forget, the naive forgive and forget, the wise forgive but do not forget. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.